The 1 mile jog test and the 1 mile walking test are both submaximal tests. The equipment needed is proper running attire, a 400-meter track, a stopwatch, a scale, pencil and paper, and a heart rate monitor. However, the heart rate monitor may be optional. If a heart rate monitor cannot be used, you can use two different methods, the carotid method and the radial method. For the carotid method, take the index and middle fingers and place them on either side of your neck next to your windpipe. Count the number of pulses for 15 seconds and multiply by 4. For the radial method, take your index and middle fingers and place them on the opposite wrist, approximately half an inch on the inside of the joint. Count the number of pulses for 15 seconds and multiply by 4 as well. The 1 mile jogging test is an excellent submaximal test for 20 to 29-year-old men and women. The goal should be to run a mile as quickly as possible. The minimum time for men for this assessment is 8 minutes, and the minimum time for women should be 9 minutes. The heart rate should never exceed over 180 beats per minute. A quick reminder that prior to the testing, the pace should be established with a 2 to 3 minute warm-up. During the 2 to 3 minute warm-up, dynamic stretches and exercises should be incorporated. For my warm-up, I included high knees, butt kicks, high kicks, and lunges. The warm-up can also be used for the walking test. To begin the test, start at the start line and at the sound of go, begin to jog for 1 mile, which would be 4 laps around the 400-meter track. Keep in mind that the goal of the test is to run the mile as quickly as possible. When completing the test, immediately check heart rate after you are done. For my assessment, I chose the carotid method. Again, count for 15 seconds and multiply by 4. The 1 mile walking test is another submaximal test that is great for sedentary or older populations. The goal should be to walk a mile as quickly as possible. The heart rate should be taken once again when the mile has been completed, and instead of a 2 to 3 minute warm-up, it includes a 5 to 10 minute warm-up prior to the assessment. Following up the 5 to 10 warm-up of dynamic exercises and stretches, head to the start line and at the sound of go, begin to walk as quickly as possible for 4 laps, which equals a mile. When the mile has been completed, go ahead and take the heart rate once again after the test. For my method, I used the carotid method once again. Count for 15 seconds and multiply by 4. Following both of the tests, begin the cool down by performing static stretches. For my static stretches, I chose a variety of hamstring stretches, toe touches, a quadricep stretch, and a calf stretch. Again, this cool down can be used for both the walking test and the jogging test. The following equations allow for estimated VO2 max to be calculated from the jogging test and the walking test. As you can see, values that must be known are body weight in kilograms and pounds, the time, the heart rate, and for gender, you can use the values 1 for male and 0 for female. To convert seconds into a decimal, take the amount of seconds from the time of the test and divide it by 60. It can then be added to the amount of minutes total. These are my values for both the jogging and the walking test using the equations previously shown. The VO2 max which is 100 minus 0.1636 times my body weight, minus 1.438 times my time, minus 0.1928 times my heart rate, plus 8.344 times 1, gave me a value of 45.32 milliliters per kilogram minute. Again, after plugging in my values into the VO2 max equation given for walking, I came out with a value of 50.61 milliliters per kilogram per minute for my VO2 max.